On January 1st, 2012, the open carry ban went into effect in California. From the California Penal Code 26350, a person is guilty of openly carrying when the person carries upon his or her person, vehicle, an exposed or and unloaded handgun. For years, our country has given us the right to bear arms. We are given this right for numerous reasons, but one of the most important is so citizens can protect themselves. Recent gun control restrictions have taken away this right from law-abiding citizens. Why does the legislature think that taking away guns from law-abiding citizens protect the community? Why are we restricting the good guys while bad guys are hardly affected by these laws? Now the citizens of the state of California can no longer openly carry firearms to protect themselves. The public is almost disarmed from outside their home. Especially in LA County, where it is impossible for an average citizen to obtain a concealed carry license, there is now no way for the citizens of the LA County to protect themselves with guns outside their home. One of the main issues with the ban on open carrying guns is, one, this policy prevents citizens the right to defend themselves. The second and most important point I want to make is that, two, actively openly carrying deters and prevents crime. Previous instances support these claims outright, showing we need more active open carrying citizens. This ban on open carry needs to be immediately repealed to ensure the safety of our state. This policy prevents citizens the right to defend themselves, which means that in the state of an emergency, citizens have no way to protecting themselves or others against criminals. According to ActionAmerica.org, guns are used for self-defense between 2.1 million and 2.5 million times per year. As many as 500,000 of those self-defense cases occur away from home. So if every state and country had the same ban on openly carrying guns in public away from the safety and protection of their home, and then there would be 500,000 cases in which citizens would not be able to properly defend themselves. Most violent crimes occur outside the house, which means banning open carry means banning a protection from crime. According to gunowners.org, as many as 200,000 women use a gun every year to defend themselves against sexual abuse. If those women hadn't been carrying a gun, then how else would they have defended themselves against their attacker? Being able to openly carry makes people feel safer, and according to the facts, it allows them to actually protect themselves. It's obvious that criminals and attackers aren't going to accommodate gun laws by not carrying a gun themselves. It's impossible for criminals to legally conceal a gun, but they do it anyways. This ban on open carry only puts law-abiding citizens' lives at risk and does not protect anyone. The second point I want to make is actively openly carrying deters and prevents crime. When citizens are even openly carrying, the criminals are less likely to commit a crime or attack a victim nearby. According to USNews.com, Department of Justice survey of incarcerated felons reported that 57% of the felons polled agreed that criminals are more worried about meeting an armed victim than they are about running into the police. And according to the same source, researcher Gary Kleck found that 92% of criminal attacks are deterred when a gun is merely shown, or rarely a warning shot will be fired. By inference, this means that open carrying would have the effect of deterring crime in the way that a thief might choose another restaurant when he sees police eating at his intended target, or eating police at a restaurant where his intended target was located. Criminals don't want to run into another person with a gun any more than they want to run into the police. But when the cops aren't around, the next best thing is an armed citizen. Ever heard of the phrase, cops are never around when you need them? So criminals don't want to run, today most media that has aired comments on the tragedies and shootings that were not prevented. However, there are instances that shootings as well as crimes were stopped, and it was because of citizens that were openly carrying. Numerous instances provide additional support for why we need more active open carrying citizens. According to the Examiner.com, on the Tuesday before the Sandy Hook school shooting in the Clackamas Town Center Mall in Oregon, an armed gunman began to open fire in the middle of a mall, killing 2 people. An armed citizen, 20-year-old Nick Melly, who was there at the mall at the time, saw the shooter. He aimed down his sight at the gunman while he was reloading, and he didn't immediately shoot. He was just seeing what the gunman was going to do. An interview by KGW News Channel 8 and a quote by Nick reads, "I know after he saw me with my gun, I think the last shot he fired was the one he used on himself." Just the sight of the potential opponent caused the gunman to give up and end his own life. Another example of another real-life instance comes from the Examiner.com. Matt Brennan and J.P. Michael were dining at a local dinner in Kinsale. A scout for an armed robbery crew entered the diner. Upon noticing Brennan and Michael were both openly carrying firearms, he immediately left the diner. Meanwhile, a police officer noticed 2 suspicious-looking cars parked in the rear of the diner. He then went to investigate. Upon investigating, he caught men with masks and rifles who had been preparing to rob the diner. The armed men informed the police they changed their minds upon their discovery of the armed civilians. Ironically, the police car was pulling into the parking lot just as Matt and JP were driving away. In other words, had Matt and JP had not been armed and the robbery, then the robbery would have most likely occurred. Thus, armed citizens saved the day without a shot even being fired. In conclusion, the ban on open carrying does not protect any citizens and only gives criminals an easier opportunity to commit crimes. The ban must be repealed to ensure the safety of our community.